The young captain stood before the ancient star map, his four eyes blinking in confusion. A massive section of the galaxy was marked in deep crimson, surrounded by warning symbols that pulsed with urgency. He had never seen anything like it in his 30 cycles of life. "What is this forbidden zone?" Captain asked, pointing his clawed finger at the red section. "No trade routes pass through it. No communication signals emerge from it. It is as if this entire region does not exist." The elder navigator, a creature whose silver scales had lost their shine many centuries ago, stopped his work. His ancient body trembled slightly at the question. The other crew members on the bridge fell silent. Some looked away. Others whispered prayers to their forgotten gods. "That young captain is human space," the elder said in a voice that carried the weight of terrible memory. "And you must never, under any circumstance, enter it. No species does. Not anymore." Laughed, he was young, he was brave. He had conquered 3 systems and negotiated peace between warring civilizations. He feared nothing in the vast darkness of space. "Humans, I have never heard of this species. Are they powerful warriors? Do they possess weapons beyond our understanding?" The elder moved closer and saw something in those ancient eyes that he had never witnessed before. Pure, absolute terror, the kind of fear that lives in the bones and never leaves. "Sit down, Captain. Let me tell you why the cosmos itself remembers to stay away from human space. Let me tell you about the War of 10,000 Suns. 800 years ago, the galaxy was ruled by the dominion of eternal stars. This mighty empire stretched across 15,000 systems. They had conquered 200 species. They had weapons that could crack planets like eggs. Their warships darkened the skies of countless worlds. Nothing could stand against them. The Dominion believed they were gods among lesser beings. They took what they wanted. They enslaved entire populations. They burned worlds for pleasure. The universe trembled at their name. Then their expansion reached a small, unremarkable system at the edge of the galaxy. It contained a single habitable world orbiting a yellow star. The planet was called Earth. The creatures living there called themselves humans. The Dominion scout ships observed these humans from a distance. They were primitive by galactic standards. They had only recently discovered faster-than-light travel. Their weapons were basic. Their ships were slow. Their population was small. The Dominion calculated that conquering this species would take perhaps 3 standard cycles at most. The Dominion High Command sent a single conquest fleet, 50 warships, 20,000 soldiers, more than enough to crush any primitive species. None of those ships returned. The Dominion believed it was a mistake, perhaps a navigation error. Perhaps a spatial anomaly had destroyed the fleet. They sent a second fleet, 100 ships this time, equipped with the finest weapons, crewed by their most experienced warriors. Contact was lost within 6 cycles of entering human space. Now the Dominion grew curious. They sent probes, surveillance drones, long-range scanners. They watched as humans pulled apart their captured ships. They watched as humans studied Dominion technology. They watched as humans learned. Within 50 years, humans had reverse-engineered everything. They improved upon it. They made it deadlier. They made it faster. They made it terrifying. The Dominion realized they had made a terrible mistake. They had not found a primitive species to conquer. They had awakened something far more dangerous than they could imagine. The first human counterattack came without warning. A single ship appeared in the Dominion's outer territories. It was small. It was fast. It destroyed 17 patrol vessels before vanishing into the void. More attacks followed. Human ships struck supply lines. They targeted communication stations. They hit fuel depots. They never stayed to fight prolonged battles. They struck and disappeared like ghosts in the night. The Dominion grew angry. They assembled the Grand Armada, 12,000 warships, the largest military force ever gathered in galactic history. They would burn human space to ashes. They would wipe this annoying species from existence. The Grand Armada entered human space on what the Dominion called Victory Day. The galaxy would later call it the Day of Screaming Stars. The elder navigator's voice grew quiet as he continued the story. His claws scratched against the metal table nervously. The Dominion expected to find a primitive civilization hiding in fear. Instead, they found a trap. The humans had spent 50 years preparing. They had studied every Dominion tactic. They had analyzed every Dominion weakness. They had built weapons that the galaxy had never seen. The human strategy was unlike anything the Dominion had encountered. They did not fight with honor. They did not meet their enemies on open battlefields. They fought like predators hunting prey. Human ships were smaller but faster. They operated in perfect coordination, communicating through methods the Dominion could not intercept. They attacked from angles that conventional military doctrine. They used asteroids as weapons. They turned the Dominion's own missiles against them. They fought without mercy, without pause, without fear. But it was not human technology that won the War of 10,000 Suns. It was something far more unsettling, something that made every species in the galaxy understand why humans must be avoided. It was human determination. The Dominion killed millions of humans. They destroyed human colonies. They burned human cities. They believed that such devastation would break the human spirit. Every other species had surrendered when faced with such losses. Humans did not surrender. They grew angrier. The Dominion captured human soldiers and tortured them for information. The humans died with curses on their lips, revealing nothing. The Dominion executed human prisoners publicly, hoping to spread fear. The humans watched and swore revenge. When human families lost their children, the parents joined the military. When human soldiers fell in battle, their siblings took their place. When entire human colonies were destroyed, survivors traveled across the galaxy to continue fighting. The Dominion had conquered species that operated on logic, species that calculated losses and knew when to quit, species that valued survival above all else. Humans were different. Humans would rather die than submit. Humans would sacrifice everything for vengeance. Humans had something the Dominion had never encountered before. They had rage. The war lasted 37 years. The Dominion lost 8,000 ships. They lost countless soldiers. They lost entire systems. Their economy collapsed. Their conquered species rebelled. Their mighty empire crumbled like dust in solar wind. And still the humans came. They did not stop when they reached Dominion borders. They did not stop when the Dominion offered peace. They did not stop when the Dominion begged for mercy. The humans remembered every dead child. They remembered every burned city. They remembered every act of cruelty, and they repaid it all with interest. The final battle took place above the Dominion. The human fleet blocked out the stars. The Dominion leaders pleaded for their lives. They offered wealth. They offered technology. They offered eternal servitude. The human commander broadcast a single message to the entire galaxy. His voice was cold. His words were simple. You came to our home. You killed our families. You thought we were prey. Now learn what happens when you hunt the wrong species. The Dominion burned for 3 cycles. Nothing survived. The mightiest empire in galactic history was erased from existence. Captain sat in stunned silence. His 4 eyes were wide with disbelief. The bridge crew had gathered around, listening to the elder's tale. Many were trembling. That was 800 years ago, whispered. Surely humans have changed since then. Surely they have become civilized. The elder laughed bitterly. Changed? Young captain, you do not understand humans. After the war, they did not become conquerors. They did not build an empire. They returned to their space and closed their borders. They wanted to be left alone. Then why are they still feared? The elder pointed to the red zone on the star map. Because occasionally, Some foolish species forgets. Some ambitious warlord thinks he can succeed where the Dominion failed. Some pirate fleet believes human ships carry valuable cargo. The elder's voice dropped to barely a whisper. They enter human space, they attack human vessels, they threaten human colonies, and then they disappear, not destroyed, not captured, they simply cease to exist. They receive no message. Their species finds no wreckage. It is as if they never existed at all. The elder moved to the observation window and stared at the distant stars. His reflection showed the face of someone who had seen too much. I was young once like you. I served on a merchant vessel that accidentally drifted into human space due to a navigation error. We were terrified. We expected death. What happened? Asked. A human patrol ship intercepted us. They scanned our vessel. They realized we were not a threat, and they escorted us safely out of their territory. They gave us supplies. They fixed our navigation system. They even wished us safe travels. The elder turned to face his captain. That is what makes humans truly terrifying. They are not mindless monsters. They are not evil conquerors. They are reasonable, intelligent beings who simply want to live in peace. They help lost travelers. They trade fairly with those who approach peacefully. They have never started a war in their entire history. But when someone threatens them, when someone attacks their homes, when someone hurts their families, they become something else entirely. They become the most dangerous force the universe has ever known. They will sacrifice anything for victory. They will chase their enemies across galaxies. They will fight until the last human dies or until their enemy is utterly destroyed. Captain stood up slowly. He walked to the star map and looked at the red zone with new understanding. Human space no longer seemed like a mysterious, forbidden region. It seemed like a sleeping giant that the galaxy had wisely decided not to wake. Set a course around human space, he ordered his crew. Give their borders a wide distance. A wise decision, the elder said. Remember, young captain, humans are not monsters. They are simply a species that the universe learned to respect. They asked only for peace. The Dominion refused to give it. The galaxy watched what happened next and decided that human peace was far better than human war. As the ship turned away from the Forbidden Zone, took one last look at human space. Somewhere in that vast region, billions of humans lived their lives. They raised families. They built cities. They explored stars. They lived in peace. And the cosmos remembered why that peace must never be disturbed. The ancient warning markers around human space pulsed silently in the void, a permanent reminder to every species in the galaxy. Some territories are not worth conquering. Some species are not worth angering. Some sleeping giants should never be awakened. The humans had proven this once. The galaxy had no desire to see them prove it again. Captain charted his course carefully around the Forbidden Zone, joining the endless line of ships that had made the same wise choice for 800 years. The cosmos remembered, and so would he.